So we're going to sew panels onto our pillow. We're going to start with the short side of our pillow. So remember, eventually your pillow is going to look something along the lines of this. It's going to be really big. It's going to be bigger than your embroidery. And then you're going to have a side that has a longer color and a side on the bottom as well. So there's a short panels and long panels. So we're going to do short panels today. So to start, I'm going to take my really, really long fabric that I gave some of you, and the rest of you will get later. And I'm going to try to make it the same, about the same length as my embroidered fabric. Okay. This is a step that I'm going to do. You're going to set it up, and I'm going to come around and cut. I don't want the panels to get accidentally cut crooked or like a little too short. So I'm going to come and just help you with that. Okay. So remember, these are our short side panels, and I'm not putting the panel here. I'm putting it on my fabric. Eventually, when you have all your panels and you're ready to turn it into an actual pillow, they're going to come out like this. And it's going to be an even bigger pillow. But for now, to sew it, we have to kind of cover up your design area a little bit. Okay, so once I did this, I'm going to actually start pinning. So I want the pins to, the sharp edge to not be facing where I'm going to eventually sew. I'm going to put the sharp pointy edge towards the design. I put it in, and then I push it through. And I poke it in, and then I push it through. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Careful when you do it. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Actually, I made this one a little too close to the edge, so I'm going to move it. I still need to make my sewing line. In order to make my sewing line, I need to measure my seam allowance. And raise your hand and tell me, what do I need to use to measure my seam allowance? Tyler? Yeah, the seam gauge, hem gauge, sewing gauge, those will all be correct. Great. So now I'm ready. This is what I want. This is what I want you all to do, or most of you to get done today. If not today, then it will be soon. We have to make our sewing line still, though. So I have my hem gauge. It also says it on here. See? Sewing gauge. I need to put this at 1/2 of an inch. So 1/2 of an inch is over here. If you look at the really long line, that's indicating that that's halfway through. And you want the blue part set to where that line is. So I'm going from the edge of the fabric, and I'm going to take a fabric pencil. Oh. Okay, I'm going to take my fabric pencil, and I'm going to measure from the edge of the fabric. There. Spread out your lines throughout the fabric, because sometimes the fabric's not perfectly cut straight, and so your actual measurements of 1/2 an inch from the edge isn't going to be exact. So you need to spread it out a little bit. Okay. Then in order for me to make a straight line, I'm going to use a ruler just to make a straight line. So I'm going to find those little lines that I made. If my pins are in the way, I'm going to move them. They're okay though. And I'm going to make my sewing lines. Okay. So something like this is what I'm looking for you to complete today. Straight line on your short-sided panels that you have pinned to your embroidery. And then you're going to be set. So then if you do that, then you're on the right track. And then we can actually start sewing with the machine, which is exciting. You're going to put this in your machine. And so just a straight line on this side, and then just a straight line on this side after you've made your sewing lines on this side, of course. So we're not doing machines today, but we will get to it. So the first step is to set up your fabric so that you can successfully put it in the machine and make your sewing lines. Special shout out to period 8, 6th grade, grade hollow, quarter 1, 2021 for sitting here quietly. Good job. All of you, you could say something like whatever you want. Okay, nice job.